Thank you. Thank you, DTM Chinpajong. Very interesting and very structured response, if I might say. Now, may I ask DTM Pichai? This is a table topics question for you. Are you ready? Sure. Here it's coming. Do you think the purchase of a love robot is a good investment? Do you think the purchase of a love robot is a good investment? Can you unmute yourself, please?
Okay, thank you. Can you just repeat the question?
Thomas.
I beg your pardon. Do you think the purchase of a love robot is a good investment?
The posture of
the purchase. If you bought a love robot, you think that would be a good investment?
Well, investment, when you purchase anything, you expect a return. If there is no good return, then it's not really a good investment. We call it return on investment. If you don't expect anything in return just for fun, then it's okay. But if you put the money in, you expect a return. It's the same thing when you love. When you talk about love, there's the statement saying, to love is nothing. To be loved is something. To love and to be loved is everything. So if you love somebody, that is an investment, true. Again, you expect somebody to love you too. Then that is a good investment. So both of you, if to love and to be loved is everything, that is much more important than anything else. So love is just more than anything else in the sense that it's composed of care, composed of responsibility, and composed of honesty. Sometimes we don't love, but we have honesty, we have responsibility. If you don't have all those composition or qualification, that is probably not a permanent love. That is what I think. And also, there's a statement. Always I use this. When I really want to talk to a girl, I would just say, someone love one, someone love two, but I have one. That one is you. Always emphasize that. Probably your love will grow and the responsibility is there. Thank you.
Thank you, DTM Pichai. This is a very good example of how not to answer the table topic. Talking about love robots. Sometimes my wife talks to me and I think, I'm going to buy a love robot. It will understand me. Let me now ask Toastmaster Paul, why not? Toastmaster Paul, my question to you is, why did you marry your online avatar? Why did you marry your online avatar?
Why did I marry my online avatar? Marry, M-A-R-R-Y.
Stop hesitating, answer the question, please.
Why did I marry my online avatar? I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. Why did I marry my online avatar?
I can't believe you're stuck.
It's okay, it's okay. If this is a comment on social media as well as digital footprints and ecosystems in this world, then I would say that marriage of an online persona and shaped in how judgment is created in this world on, again, social media such as Facebook, Twitter, IG, TikTok, YouTube. I think that people have this thought that what is seen as online represents the reality of a person. However, I believe that when people show these points, they only show slivers and tiny parts of their personality in life. On the other side, Aboriginals in Australia, they've said that when you take a picture of something, you give it a part of your soul. And so if you walk around Uluru, there will be signs that have a camera and there's a circle around it with an X, and it says no pictures, because they believe that that takes and steals part of the magic of Uluru, one of the oldest mountains on the planet. So in regards to a marriage, I wouldn't say it's a marriage. I would say that it's art and a digital footprint. And I think that whatever way that people see it in this world now, is extrapolated by every different perspective that looks at it. And so it just depends on what a person does with their life. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Paul. Again, the key point in many ways on table topics, at least the ones that I give, is if they are abnormal, you can answer them in an abnormal way. For example, why did I marry an avatar? Because Mark Zuckerberg said that I had to if I wanted to become a member of his metaverse, for example, whatever, right? It can be anything. So the idea here is just to not struggle with the subject matter, but to try and pull yourself away and be creative in a response. I think that's the intention here. But nevertheless, everybody has responded well. Let me go to Toastmaster Chochai. This is, yeah, I'll give it to you. Do you think intercultural marriage is better than interracial marriage? No, forget about that. That's just that's a horrible question. Right, forget about that, right? I won't. How long can you live without talking to your loved one? How long can you live without talking to your loved one?
Table topic chairman, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we would like to talk with the person we love, but sometimes she get upset to me or I get upset to her. But if I get upset to her, it is really soon for me to talk to her again, because I don't want to angry with her for a long time. But in the opposite case, when she angry to me, that maybe take a long time. Sometimes it cannot predict in advance because we have to wait for someone to slow down before. And the lady is something secret. Sometimes we understand her, but in the real life, I find that what I think is always wrong, because woman is something surprise. And if you love her, sometimes you don't talk to her, but you can show some caring to her. That is the beginning to our talk. Find something for her to eat. Give some good message in life to her. This is human life. Sometimes we need to wait until the proper time, because if we go to talk in the long time, perhaps we will find something bad. So if you still be single, use more time to select your partner. Table topic channel is this.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chochai. Have we time for one more? We have time for one more, perhaps? I guess. Okay. Let's go for one more. May I call upon our guest, Tadashi? May I ask you a question?
My guess is okay.
I don't worry about it. It's going to be strange anyway.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. My question is, do you love your job more than you love yourself? Do you love your job more than you love yourself?
Thank you for the question. It's the first time to speak about something like this. And for me, I love myself more than job because, if I'm not, exist, job, of course, will not be existing. And the important thing and how do we consider the job? And so we need to consider job is how much important for me or for my family. But again, I think that if I'm not existing, the job of course will not be existing. So no, considering the job and myself, so it's not, how can I say, comparable. I think it's a kind of, job is under myself. So that's what I think. A little bit shorter, but please forgive me. Thank you. This is my first time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks everybody for your responses. A couple of points I want to make. First of all, I'm actually the only native English speaker here. So congratulations to everybody for answering these questions, these very strange questions. It's not easy, and I failed miserably to learn a second language. I started with Spanish, then something happened. I think my brain went into abnormal mode, but there you go. So congratulations to everybody. And one last point. If you can be creative in a strange way, but stick to the subject when you stand up, then that practice will open up so many things. And you'll find yourself maybe on a bus and a taxi walking down the street and then suddenly thinking, I've got an idea. So the more opportunities you get of thinking differently, in my opinion, it will help. So thank you for your patience and understanding. Don't kill me the next time you see me. Okay, still love you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Thomas, for your wonderful, abnormal, but interesting table topic session. Yes, I'm so sorry. My microphone on my laptop is not working at the moment. That's why I have to use one video here and one audio on the other device. Right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So now let's relax a little bit. And it's now time for jokes. If you have some jokes to tell, please raise your hand. We can hear some jokes from you. Anyone has a joke? Toastmaster Thomas. I hope it's not an abnormal one.
Well, it's perhaps a funny circumstance, but maybe a sad one. I mentioned to you earlier that my nephew in the UK, it was his birthday on Valentine's Day. And he got a Valentine's card. The only one he got. But it was from the taxman. It was a bill that he had to pay to the taxman. And I asked him the question, do you still love the taxman? I can't repeat what he said. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day. True story.
Wow.
True story.
True story, right? What a surprise to get a tax bill on Valentine's Day. Thank you so much. Anyone else would like to tell a joke? Anyone else? Maybe not. Maybe you can share your jokes next time when you continue our Toastmasters meeting in 2 weeks' time. All right. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's enjoy some break before we continue with the second session of the meeting. Let's have a short break, 5 minutes. All right. So let's enjoy 5 minutes break. If you wish to stay, please stay. And I'm going to be here to chat with you. Well, Paul, you should say earlier you have a dumb joke.
Can I? I'll just go for it. Let me see if I can screen share real fast. Okay. All right. Here we go. Okay. All right. So the question here, guys, is going to be where a boomerang is a very, very awesome thing, and when you throw it, it comes back. And my question to you guys is, what do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back? And we call that a stick. Sorry, it was such a stupid joke. I'm sorry. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay.
Good one. Good one, man.
So how do you call stick that's come back?
A boomerang. I don't know. I don't know.
Do you know that one dog have how many legs? One dog have how many legs?
Like 4, right?
Yes, one dog have four legs. And the dog that, how many dogs that have 4 legs?
All dogs.
Yes, all dogs. Wonderful.
Good thing you answered it correctly, Paul.
I was just doing my best to answer. I was like, I just keep it blank, you know, listen to the question and then try to answer, you know. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, we have a few more minutes left for the break. If you want to go to your toilet, your restroom, please do so.
Did you receive any Valentine cards? DTM people?
Me?
Yes.
No.
Why not?
Why not? I'm not giving one to myself.
I think I did tell you one time that my sister, well, I got one time, and when I was about 11 or 12, and for a full year, my parents and my sisters and brothers were asking me who it was, etc., etc. And I, of course, with bravado, was saying, well, it could be this girl, it could be this girl. Yeah, many girls, I don't know. And it was only after a year was I told it was my sister Elizabeth who sent me that card. And the whole family knew that for 1 full year. And it was the only card I got. So there you go.
Well, today, my family and I, we went to Yawarat. I think we went to Chochai's area. I did not get a chance to go to meet him though. We haven't met, you know, Chochai, we haven't met in person, never. Everything is online, so.
Although we never met in person, but I think I know Kun Pipat a lot.
Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, today we went to like the Dragon Temple.
Oh, cloudy.
In Yawarat.
I just want to share something with the audience here today. I came out from the hospital only a few hours ago after the operation. We look at my hand here. Oh. This is called CTS. CTS means carpal tunnel syndrome. Means the blood could not go up to 3 fingers, that is the thumb, and these 3 fingers, they will be numb, permanently if you do not have any operation. But this happened because you use a lot of keyboard on the computer, or you read a lot, and then sometimes sort of using the fingers in the wrong way. So that will happen. But normally it will happen to those who are frequently using the keyboard, and moving all the time on the keyboard. So this is what I got. We call it, in a short form, we call it CTS, Carpal Tunnel Syndrome. You probably are familiar with trigger fingers, right? Trigger fingers. That once it's triggered, you cannot move. It has got to be operated, or you might have to massage your finger. Maybe one day it will be gone. But this one is very difficult. Very expensive anyway, once it's happened. So many things. I think health debt is a debt you have got to pay, just like financial debt. If you don't pay the health debt, then it's accumulated and more coming in. You will feel very frustrated, and one day you feel that you are having a lot of diseases, and that will be quite bad to discourage you in your daily life. So one at a time, I finish this one, there will be something more to come again. When you are aging, then you will feel that there are a lot of things you have got to pay at the hospital. The hospital bills are very expensive. Then take good care and save a lot of money for the future when you are retired.
Wow, thank you, DTM Pichai, for joining us. And I hope you have a speedy recovery after this. I hope you get better soon.
Yeah, it should be better. Otherwise, the return on investment is finished.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes.
I was going to ask DTM Pichai, it wasn't writing all those Valentine cards that caused the problem, was it?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to our second session of the meeting tonight, and that is the prepared speeches. Today, we have 2 prepared speeches for us to listen to. The first speaker is Toastmaster Paul. He's a new Toastmasters at our club, but he is so active, and now he is doing his second project in Pathways already. His personal evaluator today is me, so I'm going to read his project objective to all of you here. This project is evaluation and feedback. It is his second speech already. The purpose of this project is for the member. The purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. Another one is for the member to demonstrate that he or she has applied the feedback received from his or her first speech. Today, Toastmaster Paul is going to give his second speech, and his speech title. The speech title is Loopholes and Ability. Loopholes and Ability. So everyone, please welcome Toastmaster Paul.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Pipat. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll start today with a dear story, one close to my heart and mine, the Starfish Story. Once upon a time, on a beautiful Mexican beach, in a beautiful Mexican area, there was a foreigner walking on the beach, and he saw a native bending down to pick something up and throw it out into the ocean. And driven by curiosity, he went up to the native and he asked him, he said, "What are you doing?" And the native, he said, "Well, at high tide, it brings all of these starfish to the shore. And at low tide, the water goes away and these starfish are left on the ocean and they die. And so I'm saving them. And the foreigner, he looks up and down the beach and he imagines the hundreds of miles of beaches with all of the starfish. And he says, how can you possibly make a difference? There are so many. And the native, he smiled and he bent down again. He picked up a starfish. He threw it out into the ocean. And he said, it made a difference to that one. My starfish is education, Cup. And I think that teaching music, teaching English, teaching communication is one of my greatest passions in life. These days, we work very hard. And today in our university class, I was using music from YouTube Music to teach English in a very dynamic class that is very different from any English class offered at KMUT-NB. So much so that a few of them have joined me today to listen to the speech. You know, in Korea, it's the fastest growing city over the last 50 years. In the US, startup culture in Silicon Valley is now in its 4th generation of support, where they have special tax benefits, they have beautiful areas to build, they have support from all different kinds of systems to create and expand beautiful new ideas. One of my favorite quotes is by a psychologist named Jordan Peterson. And he said, everywhere you go, try to make something better. And somehow, in some way. And so it means to me, teaching a student how to ask questions, teaching ideation in simple ideas like, here you go, you have $100 billion to improve Thai infrastructure. And here are 5 options, engineers. Show me what your ideas are. And then I help them build it. At MIT, you go to the laboratories and all of the students are there and the professors, they give them a project or they let the students choose the project and they work together collaboratively and the professor does everything they can to make sure that the product is built. And so we exist in a world of loopholes and abilities, a world of limitless opportunities, exponential with the internet, a way that's never been before in human history. 85% of the human population is dead, and those great minds have really left us something. What is a loophole? What's it got to do with ability? A loophole is when you can create a way to help somebody from a nice little part of the budget. We exist in a world where there are so many giant budgets. And when you think about CSR events where they buy lots of inventory for a school and it's tracked and taxes are decreased and everything is nice and clean, what does it do for them? So you try to find a way to make sure that somebody can get help from these giant financial systems. And that's a loophole. I had a joke that I thought of, and it was, how do you talk to a giant? You use very big words. And so what that means is you use your abilities in communication to open and change and make opportunities for any kind of person, any walk or life. 1,000 years from now, people will look back and they will look for 2 things, Kev: authenticity and ability. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Paul, for your speech. Now let's move on. We have a second speaker today. Right, Toastmaster Chochai is our second speaker. Hold on, let me see. Okay, so Toastmaster Chochai is our second speaker, and I'm not sure what his project or his speech title is. Toastmaster Chochai, can you say your project and your speech title?
My speech title is storytelling. The objective is for the member to practice using storytelling in speech. And the title is Tell Lola I Love Her. And my personal orator is Toastmaster Ta. Yeah.
All right, so Toastmaster Ta is his personal evaluator. Thank you so much for accepting to do this last minute, right? I know you are more than ready to do this. So ladies and gentlemen, Toastmaster Chochai is our second speaker and his speech is storytelling. Today, he's going to speak on a speech under the title, Tell Laura I Love Her, right? Tell Laura I Love Her. Please welcome our speaker, Toastmaster Chochai.
Tell Lola I love her. Tell Lola I need her. Tell Lola I may be late, has something to do. Dash cannot wait. Lola and Tommy were lovers. He want to give her everything. Flower, present, and the most of all, the wedding ring. Toastmaster of the day, ladies and gentlemen. In the side of stock talents, $1,000 prize can be listed. $1,000 prize will belong to the winner. This is really big money. That's why Tommy drove his car to the racing ground. He was the youngest driver here, and people cheer him a lot. The racing has started. All of the car run out from the start line. They try to go past each other and go past each other again and again. Loud and loud. They drove in the deadly speed. They drove fast, faster, and the fastest of every car. Tommy intend to drive with a lot of determination. He used all of careful. He hoped to bring back the prize money to Lola. He want to make Lola proud of him. He want to make Lola happy. He loved Lola, and he want to do anything for his love. That's all life he do for Lola, because Lola is his love. He drove past many cars, and he drove overtakes everyone. Finally, there were two cars in front of other car. Two cars that drove ahead other car. Just only Tommy and the last champion. Tommy drove his car past the last champion. The last champion drove his car past Tommy. They take over, drove past each other again and again. Tommy tried to go past the last champion, but this time the last champion tried to prevent Tommy from driving past him. When Tommy go left, the champion go left too. When Tommy go right, the champion go right too. Tommy don't have the way to go. And there's just only one car between him and the final line. And this was the last chance for him. They are going to near the last curve before the final line. Tommy tried to go past the last champion. He go to the left, and the last champion go to the left too. Tommy tap brakes to slow down, and Tommy insert his car to the right side, the right space, small space between the car of the last champion and the wall. Tommy put all of the engine. Tommy go to the fastest speed. He can pass the car of the last champion closely. And Tommy was going to enter the last curve with the highest speed. This is the highest speed to enter the curve that Tommy has ever had in his life. Tommy tapped brakes to slow down. His car shake a lot, and he cannot control his car. Tommy entered to the last curve. Tommy tapped the brake again, and his car turned around. Tommy tried to control his car, but he cannot control his car. His car of Tommy dove over to the sky and tapped into the ground, hit the ground with thunder loud sound. The fire slowly rose. Ambulance and rescue led to the scene in front of the final line. Tommy still beating. When they try to bring the body of Tommy out of the car, they still heard the Tommy cry, "Tell Lola I love her. Tell Lola I need her. Tell Lola don't to cry. My love for her will never die." Then darkness covered the sky. It was quiet night. Ladies and gentlemen, alone at night, Lola prayed for Tommy who passed away. Tommy who lived and died for her, Lola. Tommy who loved her so much. Lola can hear the voice of Tommy cry, "Tell Lola I love her. Tell Lola I need her. Tell Lola not to cry. My love for her will never die." Toastmaster of the day, please. Happy Valentine Day, everyone.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Chochai, for the speech. Yes, and I think we still have a little time because we have our third speaker who volunteered to speak. And it's a privilege for us to hear another speech. But this speech is not going to be evaluated, all right? Distinguished Toastmaster Pichai is going to tell us a story, a speech. It's a 5 to 7 minute speech, and the title of the speech is Success. Success. So everyone, please give it up for distinguished Toastmaster Pichai.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a privilege to be an impromptu speaker because so many things happened to me at the age of 75, success and failure, and a lot of difficulties. And I believe with the experience I have, I'd like to share with you too. Thank Paul for your beautiful English. That is something I learned today. I'm quite positive about it. Now, when I say the word success, probably something you want to be successful too. You will ask yourself whether you'll be able to be as successful as Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. I'm quite sure it is quite possible to be just like any other people because they are given 24 hours. You are also given 24 hours. So you must be able to do it. It's just a matter of discipline and principle that you can just stick to. For me, if you want to be successful like myself, I think I'm successful enough to tell you the story. There will be about 4 key messages or 4 key tips that you should really have got to stick to if you really want to be successful. Number 1 is, I always believe that if you want to be successful, you have got to think big. When you think big, you get big. When you think small, you get small. When you think nothing, you get nothing. This is quite common in life too. When I was something like 30 years old, I had an American friend. We had our dinner, our lunch, our breakfast at the Oriental Hotel. He said, Pichai, if you go ahead with your real estate experience, you will definitely make some money. But I said, I'd like to see a place where I can live nearby the river. Then go ahead with your dream. And I feel that I need a condo nearby the river. So I have now 2 condos. Even in fact, I did not have any money at that time, but the dream that was so big, I was able to achieve. And now I'm having 2 condos nearby the river. And that is something I was having the habit at that time of thinking big. Number 2 is you have got to think positively. When you think positively, you'll be surrounded by the positive people. When you are surrounded by positive people, you'll be able to grow very fast. What is important is, if you are positive, what is intangible can become tangible. What is invisible can be visible. And what is impossible can be possible. The same as what I did when I got my condo. Even in fact, I did not have any money. I did not even have the idea of making a lot of money, but I had the intention of running my own business one time or sometime in my life. Then I had my company at the end of something like for 25 to 30 years, just before my retirement. So that is being positive in life. Number 3, if you really want to be successful, they say that you have got to act like that particular person. If you are a lawyer, you have to act like a lawyer. If you are a teacher, you have to act like a teacher. If you really want to be a teacher, you have to act like a teacher. Or if you are security guard, you have to act like a security guard because you have to stand in front of the bank and stand like a security guard. Then you are a good security guard. All the time I acted myself as a teacher. Then I was able to teach in the university for over 10 years as a lecturer, invited lecturer in the university. I thought that was just because very beginning, when after my graduation from Assumption Commercial College, I acted myself to be a teacher all the time until that dream came true, being a lecturer in the university. Act like it, you will get it. But if you don't act like it, you won't be able to get it. Definitely, you will never get it. Number 4 is no more excuses. Never say to yourself that it is impossible. Never say to yourself that you are too young. Never say to yourself that you are too old. And never say to yourself that you are too busy. If you tell your boss that you are too busy, the boss will never come to you anymore because he has the impression that you are too busy to work for me, so I don't give you any job. It's important. No more excuses. My son the other day told me that I'm working in Huawei, and Huawei doesn't give you a job. Huawei gives you a responsibility. That means that you have got to do it and finish it, and responsibility is 24 hours. There will be no more excuses, they are too busy or anything like that. So there is a difference between job and responsibility. No more excuses. Ladies and gentlemen, I always believe in one thing. A winner is not a quitter, and a quitter is not a winner. As long as you want to be a winner, you never quit. If you quit, everything is finished and all your investment is gone. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That is my concept of the talk today.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmasters Chochai, for this special speech. Success from you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we finished our prepared speeches already. We had 3 speeches. Okay, and now it's time for evaluation session. Today we have Toastmaster Thomas, who is kind enough to be our general evaluator, and he is going to lead the evaluation session for us. So Toastmaster Thomas, please take it away.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Can everybody hear me? Okay, great. It's raining outside, so I didn't cause it. All right. Toastmaster of the day, I'm as general evaluator, my job is essentially to look at the meeting generally, of course, and also with the help of my colleagues to look at our performance specifically. And to start this off, we're going to have some evaluations of the speeches, the first 2 speeches that we had tonight. And then later on, I will call upon the accountant who will let us know just how frequent we have used these filler words or filler expressions, the ahs and the ums, etc. And maybe even also repetition. And after that, I will make some final comments and hand it back to Toastmaster of the Day. But as the Toastmaster of the Day said earlier, feedback is essentially what we're looking for when we come to Toastmasters, not only to speak and get the opportunity of speaking, but to know how we are heard by our attendees, our fellow members and guests, because we cannot see ourselves as other people see us. And of course, we cannot hear ourselves as other people hear us. So the evaluation session is incredibly important for all of us who want to improve our public speaking step by step. So let me first call on our first evaluator. That's bad English, by the way. I should say, let me call on our evaluator. Forget about that, right? I'm just mumbling. My apologies. To evaluate our first speaker, Toastmaster Paul, we have DTM PPAT. DTM PPAT, your evaluation, please.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Thomas. Ladies and gentlemen, especially our speaker, Toastmaster Paul, it is my honor to be your personal evaluator today. Now, I'm going to be frank, so please don't be angry with me, all right? If you like my evaluation, please take it. If you don't, please don't come after me, right? We are still friends. Now, let's start with something I like about the speech today. Number one is, I like the way he started his speech. He started with a very nice story, the Starfish Story. If we can still remember, he told something about a foreign person on the beach, pick up a starfish and throw it back into the ocean, right? That's a beautiful way to start a speech. Second is, I like the way he used a quote, I believe at least one quote in his speech, and a lot of comparisons to let the audience understand more. can picture in our minds clearer. Still, it's a speech, and I would like to give my personal suggestions to Toastmaster Paul. Number one is, I believe that is you can begin the speech better. Now, the story was beautiful already, but I think you can start directly with a story. Avoid saying, today I have a story to tell you, or avoid saying, well, I have a story. I'm going to start with a story, right? There's no need to tell us that. Just go directly with a story. Second thing is, it's my personal opinion though. I believe you can have a better setting, right? Because right now you are having a side angle with a camera, right? Yeah. So when you sit like this, I feel like you are talking to us. But if you have a side angle like this to your camera, I feel like you were doing something, and now we are distracting you, and you have to talk to us, right? That's a different feeling for me. But all in all, Toastmaster Paul, I believe it was a beautiful speech. You talk a lot about your experience as a teacher. Education is your starfish, and how people can improve in the future. You have a very clear voice and easy to understand voice, and that's how I like it. So Toastmaster Paul, hopefully we can hear another speech from you very soon, maybe a next project, next meeting. And I'm sure that you are going to be a rising star of Laemthong Toastmasters Club. Another good speech from you soon. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator Thomas.
Thank you, DTM PPAD, for that evaluation. May I add just a couple of additional comments? I thought the introduction was inspirational. I loved your introduction. I was still waiting on your call to action. Thank you. For our next evaluation, may I call upon DTM Jin Pajong, who will evaluate Toastmaster Chochai's speech. Please proceed.
Thank you, Toastmaster Thomas, our general evaluator. You put D to me. I am just the Toastmaster, not DTM yet. Okay, but I'm glad that I can join the meeting today and feel honored to be the evaluator of my friend Chochai. He always visits my club. I'm glad because it is a touching story, and the song that he sang at the beginning of his speech, I heard it about many years ago, and I can remember the song. Yes, I noticed that Toastmaster Chochai reached the purpose of the speech. He told us a story in his speech. That is the purpose of the speech. And he appeared in the screen with confidence. He excelled at using gesture, has clear voice, and appropriate pace of speaking, not too slow or not too fast. He hooked the audience at the beginning by singing that impressive song that's still impressive in my heart. All in all, I would like to say that he did good job. One thing I would like to give suggestion on some points. First, I noticed that Toastmaster Chochai always look at his script that maybe lay on the table, so he had to look down on the script. No, so he lost some eye contact with the audience. Maybe next time he can put the script at the camera spot that you can see it without losing the contact with the audience. Another point is that the vocal variety, when you told about the story of Tommy driving the racing car, if you can make it exciting, like in the sports reporter report the sport, I think it will be more exciting to the audience and make it more interesting. In the conclusion part, you can put some lesson in and leave something for the audience that will be good, will be make the story more remember in the heart of the audience. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, DTM, Jin Pajong. The D is delectable. Delectable, which means sweet. Thank you so much for that. I like just a few comments to Toastmaster Chochai. I like the use of a prop. I agree, more vocal variety. And if I may be so bold as to suggest, practice your singing. Other than that, I sing so badly, so I can't make a comment, but if I may. Thank you so much. And now we have a good example in our third speaker of two points I would like to raise. First, the initiative from DTM PGI in volunteering to fill a gap. And secondly, in leadership from TOD in picking that up and organizing it, inserting it into the meeting smoothly. So here we had successes, and I've taken a note of them, and I'm going to think big. I'm going to think big. My wife thinks I'm big already, but that's got to do with, waist measurement. But I'm going to think big mentally and positively. I initially thought that you had mentioned 14 tips. And I wondered, is this anything to do with Valentine's Day? But I now realize it was 4 tips rather than 14. My apologies there. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you very much for that. And now may I ask our timekeeper to give us the times of our speakers and our topics respondents. Toastmaster Young.
Yes, thank you very much. Time is very important. So today our meeting start at good time, 6:30. So let's see what time we took in the session, in the table topic session. Time allow for everyone is 2 minutes. The first one, DTMP part, he took time 1 minute and 40 seconds. And Tanat, he took 1 minute 40 seconds. And Jen Prajang, she took 2 minutes and 1 second. DTMP Chai, he took 1 minute and 40 seconds. TM Paul, 1 minute and 35 seconds. Chochai, 2 minutes and 9 seconds. And Tadashi, he took time 1 minute and 20 seconds. For another session, speed session, start with TM Paul. Time is allowed for him 5 to 7 minutes. He took 5 minutes, 5 seconds. And second one, CDM Chochai. Time allowed is 5 to 7 minutes. He took 7 minutes, 23 seconds. And last one, DTM Pichai. Time allowed is 5 to 7. He took 6 minutes exactly. Okay, next one for counter. Unfortunately, I could not find anyone mistake, so everyone qualified for counter. Thanks very much. Back to you.
Okay, Toastmaster Young, you're fired. Right. Well, until next week. Until next week, right? Yeah, eye counting is one of these things that when I initially joined Toastmaster, I thought this was the dumbest thing. Why would I want to know how many ahs and ums? But it's very constructive, it's very efficient in its intent. And the intent is you occupy the time with words and phrases that are useful for your audience to hear and think about. The ah, the the hesitation, the repetition, all these things reduce the impact of your speech. And in some cases, it can be irritating depending on the sensitivity of the audience. So I think, yeah, eye counting, I beg your pardon, is very useful. And I would normally include repetition in that. If somebody repeats, we should identify that. Some of us have a habit of repeating certain things, certain phrases, certain words, and it's useful to have that identified. And again, it makes our speech all the more interesting to the audience by reducing the potential waste of these filler words. We don't have anybody in better English, and since I'm Scottish, that's impossible. Oh, I beg your pardon. Excellent. This is good. This is good news for me. I'll tell you why, because as a native English speaker, my grammar is bad. My grammar construction is bad. And this is absolutely natural, because when you learn a new language, a new subject, it doesn't matter what it is. You learn a structure, you learn a history of, this is the way to do it properly. This is the way to identify the subject, the verb, and the predicate, and the tense, etc. So I'm going to bow to my superior grammarian, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Peapot, to give us his gem. No?
Toastmaster Thomas, allow me to speak. Toastmaster Paul is the better English person. He's an English teacher. And
oh, I beg your pardon. I'm so sorry, Paul, but I think you're a nicer guy. Put it down to age or whiskey or something like that. My apologies. So Toastmaster Paul is tonight our better English assessor, if I can use that expression. He is a very good English speaker. I noticed throughout his speech, there wasn't any ah and there wasn't any hesitation, and there wasn't any repetition. A very efficient speaker. So I'm looking forward to what he might say about, well, me as a Scotsman, but also our other attendees today, or tonight rather, in terms of better English. Toastmaster Paul.
All right. Okay, so I understand that I have a little bit of time to do a better English segment or presentation, yes?
To comment on the English spoken by our attendees, but you can do it in whatever way you wish.
Okay, great. Okay, all right, cool. Okay, so I'll first off start, like, this is Teacher Paul now, kind of. This is the first time I'm kind of showing you guys this side of me. So first off here is going to be that, think about improving your English in 3 different approaches, right? One would be the native approach, the STEM approach, and the artist approach, right? So the native approach is that T.M. Thomas and I didn't open a grammar book until like 25 or years old or later. Okay, really, right? Yeah, okay, all right. So I learned grammar by teaching it in Korea, teaching books over and over and over again. That's where I got all my terms, right? So that would be the native approach, right? With that, the common thread is going to be you are getting a sense of it, and it connects to the 4 levels of competence, or different levels of competence, right? Which is going to be unconscious incompetence. That means that you don't know, right? Conscious incompetence, it means you know, you don't know it, right? Conscious competence, you know that you know you can do it, right? That would be like my son driving for his test at 16 years old, right? Unconscious competence, right? That would be where his girlfriend says, come over, I'm gonna love you for the first time. And he forgets about driving to his girlfriend's house. Okay, mastery is that he's doing that on a race car or something. All right. The next one would be the STEM approach, right? So that would be, oh my God, I was supposed to start this. Okay, the next one would be the STEM approach. So that's where you have to really master your fundamentals. And that would be where these days, for all of the Thai team members here, guys, Elsa Speak is an app and it's an AI pronunciation coach. It's free. You can use it. It's got all kinds of things. If you want more information, just text me later. Okay. Duolingo has a 15-minute English test, right? That's free that you can take. If you want the link, I'll send them later too, right? It's nice and quick and easy. It's a really good assessment. It's accepted. The full version is accepted by 2,000 universities worldwide. Okay. The next tool is going to be Youglish, right? So right here, I use the word competence and I search it and I click on say it here. And then it pulls 370 videos for me of a UK accent of somebody saying the word competence. All right, so that's a very, very valuable tool. Okay, great. They don't have the Scottish one though. Sorry, TM Thomas. Okay, all right. So, and I guess like to wrap up here, it's going to be where you have the artist approach, and that's you catch phrases, lyrics, thoughts, mantras, literature. You got going with the gut from music and things that you really love, and you integrate that into the way that you speak, right? And I saw shining examples of that today, right? From all of you guys. Okay, all right, I'm done.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Paul. Very, very interesting. How?
Can I ask one question from our grammarian today? How can one, like, we are not native speakers, how can one improve his or her English at this moment? We are not in school anymore, but how can we just better our English? To me personally, I think English has been sort of classified into 3 levels. One is functioning English, and second is good English, and then better English. That is what I classify them. So if you speak just to make people understand, it's functioning. But if you speak a little bit better with good grammar, then it's good English. And then if you want to even better, then you have got to do a little bit more. And that is always my classification as far as English is concerned. So you might have a better idea as how like everybody here can improve his or her English.
Okay, practical approach, Kev. Right, practical approach as of this moment. I like you have 75 years of work experience. I can hear it in your voice, right? So I'll give you a quick little example, right? So it's that first, if you make a recording of yourself reading a poem like this of your choice, I will QC it for you and talk to you by text and tell you what to improve and send you recordings, right? You can ask TM Thomas too. He's good at that. His ear is much better than me. Okay, and he has a wealth of literature knowledge in his mind. The key fundamental is QC of reading aloud by native level speech or talent, right? I have to be humble, but it's kind of like this. This is one of my favorite poems of all time, right? And the poet is, had I the heavens embroidered claws and wrought with golden and silver light, the blue and the dim and the dark claws of night and light and the half light, I would spread the claws under your feet, but I, being poor, have only my dreams. I've spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly, because you tread on my dreams. Right. So that's where I've read and this poem so many times in my life and in my mind, right? And you have Thai literature that's like this as well. And so it's the activity of articulating it, speaking it, getting QC on it, just like we're doing here, but more micro, right? More micro. Okay. All right.
Great stuff. Look, I'm going to propose that Toastmaster Paul does a training session at one of our future club meetings, if he would be so kind, on
Paul, how do you train your students? I mean, having confidence to speak and then sort of a good English and.
I'll hit 2 birds with 1 shot on that one. Okay. If you guys travel back in time to the warm-up questions and table talk questions, you know, it's that treating and drawing out somebody's words is just like warming somebody up when you're trying to, oh my God, there are ladies here. I got to get a better example. It's that when your car is cold in the winter time, right? You have to turn it on a little bit to warm it up, right? So the creative process and confidence are directly connected, right? So in Finland, they have this concept where stressed out minds do not learn and stressed out minds do not remember. So they don't retain information, right? And so what that means is that once you can pull that away and you achieve something called human flow. Human flow is where you are not distracted, you are focused on what you're doing. It seems that time slips away. It's that you feel like you are, I guess, dancing with whatever your skills are. There's more on it with like deep work and Cal Newport and all kinds of things, but I don't have time right now. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Toastmaster Paul. Human flow, being in the zone, as they say. Yeah, I would propose that if it's okay with Toastmaster Paul. I think that would be an excellent presentation. Maybe, dare I say, 20 minutes on improving your English. Let's face it, I think I've demonstrated tonight how I really need to improve my English. Maybe my attitude also, who knows?
Where are you teaching now, Paul? Where are you teaching?
Sorry guys, hold on. We can chin chat after the meeting, if you don't mind. I just want to finish this, otherwise we'll never get it finished probably. Anyway, a few general points regarding the meeting. As the timer said, it started at 6:30 basically, and what I liked tonight was leadership shown by VPE and of course our Toastmaster of the day. I like the fact that the VPE started by introducing our guests, which is always a good thing, because if you're a guest, you're really not sure about what's going to happen, and being asked to say something about yourself breaks the ice. There's belonging in the sense during the meeting for that. So I like that. We had the table topic session, never to be commented on again. Thank you very much. I appreciate your patience. And I've already mentioned about the speeches. All in all, what I'd like you to take away today is that we spend 2 hours of our time at these meetings. We should try and ensure that we learn something, we entertain each other, and we walk away enjoying the 2 hours of experience, because we're never going to get the 2 hours back. So that's the thought I just want you to take away. And thank you for my enjoyable, educational and entertaining experience tonight. And I look forward to seeing you all next meeting. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, our General Evaluator, Toastmaster Thomas, and his evaluation team. If you learned something today from the evaluation team and Toastmaster Thomas, please give them a big, big round of applause, please. Yay, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, now we come to the last part of our Toastmasters meeting today. And we cannot end without hearing feedback from you as well. As guests, what do you think about our meeting today? You can say something good or bad, it doesn't matter. We just want you to get some feedback. We just want to get some feedback from you. Maybe start from our old guest, Toastmaster Tanat, a future Toastmaster Tanat.
Okay. I think the meeting today is very impressive for me. We have a good time sharing together. It brings me back some good memory when I joined Toastmaster Club a few years ago. And I think that, yes, I really love the environment. Just a few things that I think is maybe should be improved. Toastmaster Pipat, I think maybe it's because of your sound device is broken. So because at the second part of the meeting, it's very difficult to hear you. Maybe it's better if you just change or increase your sound volume. That's all for my comment.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry about that. I hope you can hear me better now.
It's still too low. It's maybe better next time.
Oh, Okay. Well, sorry about that.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. So thank you so much, Toastmaster Tanat. Now let's hear from Toastmaster Tadashi. Toastmaster Tadashi.
Thank you for having me this evening, wonderful evening. And I learned a lot because, I just, begin to participate this kind of meeting this month. And I feel I need to have more curiosity to talk about something around me in daily basis and daily practice. And also I need to have more shameful experience, sorry, and to grow. And especially thank you, Thomas, giving me the opportunity to talk about something in front of you. Thank you for everyone. I really appreciate.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And Kun Tadashi, may I ask, are you living in Thailand or you are joining from Japan?
I'm living in Bangkok because my wife is, Thai. So I finally moved to Taiwan.
Wow, nice. Thank you so much. Please leave your contact information in the link in the chat box, right? I will provide more information to you after this.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And maybe one more guest. I'm not sure if he wants to speak.
Me?
Yes. Do you want to speak?
Okay. From Mr. Paul, I heard about this starfish for many times. It's still beautiful. It's still beautiful every time I heard. And Mr. Chochai, I think Tommy have to love himself before he's starting to love someone. And Mr. Pichai, you remind me of someone. She was my teacher. She is a good teacher. She just sat with me from 8 a.m. to midnight every day to improve my skill, math and science. She always told me, you can be anything you want, just you believe. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. And I believe that too. I believe you can be anything you want. Just believe in yourself and do it to the best of your ability. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, I thank you so much for joining us tonight. And is there anything else that anyone would like to announce anything before we close the meeting?
May I suggest?
Yes, please.
It may be useful for members to come along with a short 2 to 3 minute prepared speech or short story, just to fill some of the gaps that inevitably come up. And also to occupy our 2 hours so that we can get the best of it. In one of the other clubs, we recommend that people have with them pretty much at all time a 2 to 3 minute speech on what's unique about their country or what's unique about them without being an icebreaker, or what's unique about their culture. This is also very useful to the Toastmaster of the day, because if suddenly the agenda changes, what the Toastmaster of the day must do is arrange or rearrange the agenda and make it appear as if it's always been like that the audience has no idea that maybe 5 or 10 minutes before there were certain gaps. And so I think that we should all come along with something in our box, an out-of-box experience that we call. And the Toastmaster of the day can simply call in a member to give an out-of-box experience. 2 to 3 minutes, thank you very much, please proceed. And from your out-of-box experience, we'll learn about what's unique about your culture or your country or you yourself. So that's maybe a suggestion to fill in some of these gaps that we sometimes have. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Thomas, for the suggestion. Yes, if we have gaps, that's what we have to do, right, to fill in the gaps. But in case we have blank role players, then we might have to find the role players first, and that might be the more important case for us. All right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think without any more announcement, then we are going to adjourn the meeting. If you want to stay for a little more information about the club, please feel free to do so. I will be here to talk to you about the club. So ladies and gentlemen, now is a proper time for us to adjourn the meeting. So please, everyone, help me. Adjourn the meeting, please.
Picture time. All right, big smiles, everybody. All right, big smiles. I have to turn off the chat here. Okay, all right. In 3, 2, 1. We got it. All right, we got it. We got it. Rome with your fake beard. I love it. Thank you very much for speaking. All right. Oh man, you make me proud, bro. Okay.
Take care.
Thank you.
I'll stay around.
Okay.
Paul, I asked you just where are you teaching now?
Yes, we are teaching right over by Onut. I've rented a building there that's about 200 square meters for about 6 years now, and that's over by Onut BTS camp. Yes, and we're like about 95% online and like 5% face-to-face right now with the pandemic and everything happening. It's where most of everything is private, and it's that we set everything up by Google Calendar, and then we have Line basically to organize everything, right? And so becoming the secretary of the club is that I'm trying